Thank you for joining me for the Stamp Around UK video hop. My name's Esther and this is Stampin' Style Creations. This month's theme, we're working on cards to suit every maker, so from beginner to casual to avid crafter. I'll be using the Peaceful Deer stamp and punch set and this lovely paper here, Peaceful Prints from the Celebration catalogue. So I'll be using the same basic layout for all three of them, and this lovely velvet paper here, snowy white velvet paper, and I've cut it down to size and it's about 1 inch, and the length is the same to fit the matte layer of the card. And you can just tear this and it just creates this lovely texture like snow along the bottom of my paper. I'm going to print directly with the same colour, so garden green, onto that garden green DSP, which stands for Designer Series paper. Now I tried to stamp again, but it doesn't come out very clearly, so I'm going at full strength and just checking my layout so that I can fit the trees underneath the snow. So using this same lovely snowy paper, you can actually punch this paper as well as tear it, and I've just punched out one of those lovely deer shapes. Again, coming back in with the same garden green colour, I'm just creating these snowflakes in the background. I think I'll get away with green snowflakes because of the design of the card. And you can also stamp on this paper as well, and the lines of the sentiment come out really clearly. So I was really pleased with that. I'm just simply mounting it onto some basic white cardstock, and that's card number 1 finished for the beginner. So some simple stamping with some simple sticking as well. So for the next card, I wanted to step it up a bit for the casual crafter. Casual crafters, people that might have a little bit in their stash already and does crafting occasionally. Embossing it with this lovely fern emboss, and the detail of this is incredible. It's so detailed, and just flicking it over to show you the other side there. So again, going to work on this as my base, but this time I'm going to stamp the deer on it using Early Espresso. So the deer matches the punch, and there's also some paper in that Designer Series paper pack that will match the punch also. So you can punch to your heart's content. It punches really smoothly and there's no jaggedy edges when you come to cut the velvet paper. For the antlers, I decided to stamp these separately. I think this is the only way you can do it. So I've punched them out first and then stamped after. Actually, later on I do try it the other way. I stamp first and then punch some out. And then coming in with trees on the velvet paper. Now, just be warned, with fuller colour like this, the colour does smudge and come off. So I did blot it on my paper a few times before I come to actually stick it on my final project. I'm bringing on the colour Real Red to incorporate that onto my project also. So fussy cutting out those trees, and I'd forgotten to put the stamping in the background, so I'm doing it afterwards. And incorporating this lovely satin red ribbon to tie in that lovely red theme. Again, forgot to stamp the trees, give it a good press, and thankfully they did kind of shine through where I needed them to. Popping my ribbon along the top, and as you can see, I've added a little red nose to the reindeer. There is a little dot in the punch that you can use for the nose. So I took advantage of that and I've made him Rudolph. And this is card number 2 for the casual crafter. A bit more to this one, embossing and fussy cutting. So card number 3, I remembered to stamp it this time, or put some detail on it anyway, and then like the second card I'm going to emboss it, but I managed to deboss it instead of emboss it, but I carry on regardless. I'm going to use the white ink and coming in with a blending brush, and I just wanted to pick up the detail of that fern emboss, and it still kind of works, it's just a different look with the deboss. Using some more paper from that set, but this time with a pop of red underneath it. And this lovely dazzling paper also, which I'm going to just run a rough jagged edge with my scissors down it so that it complements my snowy scene from the velvet paper. So that lovely dazzling paper is another celebration item that you can get your hands on. We're in August, September 2021, recording this in August for the beginning of September 2021. So this time I hadn't tried using blends with this particular set before, so I'm coming in with my soft suede. At the moment it looks a bit of a mess, but then when I start brushing on the crumb cake and introducing a new colour, it started to take shape. And then I come with a lighter crumb cake as well to help finish off this deer. Again, I blot off the image afterwards, and this just does take off the excess ink from my image. So popping up the sentiment and the snow at the front, and this is what I did with the second card, so just to have some consistency with that. But also I wanted to pop up the deer itself as well, so adding a few mini dimensionals to the back of that. And I've got it dancing in front of this glitzy moon, which I've cut out. I've punched it out with a retired circle punch. Now this was looking rather plain and I couldn't resist getting my scissors to the paper, so I think it helped the fact that I'd run it through the embossing machine and had got ink on it. It just helped to loosen up the fibres a bit. Don't worry if it tears and scrapes, it is the nature of distressing the paper. But look how much that stands out. I think it looks so much better. And then adding a little red bow in the corner this time. These are the holiday gems. These are great because they've got lots of different primary colours and some shades also. So I'm incorporating the greens into my picture using these gems and not being too sparing with them. Not forgetting a shiny red nose for our Rudolph. So I've got it going in just that kind of diagonal direction so it doesn't look too out of place. And a wink of Stella features in this card, so I'm just splatting some wink of Stella to make it nice and sparkly. Then adding, oh, it jumped, or the one that got away, adding some basic rhinestones also to jazz this up even more and make it even more sparkly. Been generous with my multi-liquid purpose glue and sticking it again on a white base just to show off this card. And this is for your avid crafter, the one that likes to do it all. So here's the 3 cards. Here's the first one for the basic or beginner crafter, just some simple stamping and some punching. Then we did this one with a bit more fussy cutting, a bit more added to it with embossing and ribbon. And then for the final card, we did a lot more to this. We did distressing, we added some blends and some white ink and incorporated a bit more to that one. So let me know which one's your favourite. I am quite partial to the first one actually, and do check out all the other videos from the UK stampers in the link below. Take care, have a fantastic day. A thumbs up is always appreciated, and let me know your thoughts.